All right, welcome to the 2022 Utopian Baseball Universe opening day and season preview show. I'm Joey Buckholz. That's the name my parents gave me 47 years ago. It's kind of a brand now. That's what people call me. Welcome to the show. We're going to go probably 2 hours tonight. We're going to preview opening day. We're going to talk about the season ahead, everything you need to know about the Utopian Baseball Universe. See that logo right there? Yeah. We're going to talk about how to get that on a T-shirt. Specifics coming very soon, but we're gonna touch a little bit upon that tonight. But welcome to the show. This is going to be a unique show in that this is probably the only time you'll ever just see me snack throughout a broadcast, because I've got my pretzels here. I've got my dill pickle mustard. I don't have an official sponsor, but if the Mustard Museum in Middleton wants to sponsor me, they have many delicious products like this dill pickle mustard, this Poop on You hat, and many other types of products that you can enjoy. So again, welcome to the show. Opening day is in 2 days. We are less than 48 hours away from the third season of the Utopian Baseball Universe. So we are at over 1,300 members right now. So a lot of you are seeing this preview show for the very first time. The first time we did this 2 years ago, I think I had 11 members. When we did our preview show last March, I think we were just under 800. We're at 1,300 now. So let's talk about it. What is the Utopian Baseball Universe? I actually was asked this today because I was wearing one of the shirts at the store. Someone asked, what is that? And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a Facebook group." Well, it's a lot more than that. I consider the Utopian Baseball Universe to be a baseball community, and yes, a lot of the activity does take place on Facebook, but I consider it to be much more than that. I think we are a community. I like to consider what we do just connecting baseball, like-minded baseball people together. We have the fictional side of it, which, again, we're going to talk about tonight. The actual concept of the Utopian Baseball Universe is, let's take every player that we consider great, all of our favorites, all of today's favorites, let's put them in one snow globe. Let's make a schedule. Let's simulate it over 7 months and determine a Utopian champion. But it's not a computer simulation. A lot of those simulations that determine who the best team ever is, they take real statistics. And if you did 100 of those seasons, you would probably see the Yankees win a ton. The Dodgers win a ton, the Cardinals, all the teams that have had a lot of success in the over 150 years of Major League Baseball. This is a fantasy, if you will. Every single franchise in the Utopian Baseball Universe has the exact same chance of winning a Utopian Baseball Universe championship every year. The way we simulate is completely random, and I think that's what makes it the most fun, is the way it works on Friday, and actually tomorrow night at about 9 o'clock Central, we're going to have a guest on. I haven't confirmed it 100% yet, but we're going to have a guest basically give me a date in history. It's got to be a baseball date. It can't be, January, February, November, December. So they're going to give me a date from history. I'm going to take all of those games that happened on that date, and basically hit shuffle. If there's not 16, then I'll pull from the next. And in many, if not all cases, there's never 16. I usually have to pull 2 days a day. But someone's going to give me a day. I'm going to take all those results, hit shuffle, and then all of those results and statistics get loaded into my custom schedule. And then every night I report back those results as if they actually happened. So it's basically like a fictional account using the history of Major League Baseball as kind of a template, if you will. Why is it 32 teams? Major League Baseball is 30. Much easier to make a schedule. I brought back the Montreal Expos. I took the Durham Bulls, who many people think is a fictional team. They're actually a minor league team for the, I believe they're the AAA affiliate for the Tampa Bay Rays. I made them the 32nd franchise. I took all the players that didn't make the other 31 rosters, had a draft, if you will, put them on the Durham Bulls. I took every Negro League Hall of Famer last year and put at least one player on each team. I took who, in our opinion, because you guys had a lot to do with this as well, I took the 32 best 19th century players, and I put one on each team. And then not all of them, but most of the Hall of Famers, all of my favorites, a lot of today's superstars make up these rosters. I make a 156-game schedule every year. The first one took me about 4 years to make. Second and third took about 2 weeks. And actually, I'm just finalizing season 4 right now. You play every team in your division 12 times. You play everyone outside of your division 3 times. So that makes up 156. There's 4 divisions of 8, North, South, East, and West. This year, our seasons will start with the North playing teams in the South, and the East playing teams at the West. We just kind of have a rotation for who plays when, and that's just how the ball bounced this year. So the North opens at the South, East opens at the West. We go 156 games. We start Friday. At the end of the season, the top 3 teams from each division make the playoffs. The third place team plays at the second place team on Wild Card Wednesday. And the winner of that game faces the regular season champion in a best-of-5 division championship series in a 1-2-2 format. So the top seed gets the first game. The wild card winner gets the next 2. And then the regular season division champion gets the final 2. That assures that the wildcard team, the only way they can win that series at home is if they sweep. So I did that on purpose. Then the final 4 teams, so 1 team from each division, compete in the table, which is our version of the final 4. 1 team from the North, South, East, and West. Those 2 winners play in the Utopian Baseball Universe Championship Series. This year, it's going to be the North versus the South on one bracket, the East versus the West. Because I know people that have been with me for 2 years are wondering, is it going to be Braves Reds again? It can't. They could face each other in the semifinal round at the table, but this year we will not have a Braves Reds championship. That is guaranteed. So that's how we simulate. We pull the box scores, we hit shuffle, and then I report those results to you. One example I'll give you, if a game I pulled from the past is a 3-1 win for the home team, and the game is won on a 3-run homer in the 9th by the catcher, no matter who that catcher is from history, if it maps into this particular game, it's whoever the catcher is in our game gets credit for that homer. And it's rarely going to be the same team. So we could take a Yankees-Red Sox game from 1920, and it could end up being a Padres-Giants game. But we'll take whatever positions did anything in that game. It'll benefit ours. It'll make more sense once you see it. You'll see it actually happening Friday, and I think it'll make more sense. And then throughout the week, we've got different things that we do. Here's a weekly schedule. You'll see in the bottom of the screen. Every Monday afternoon and Friday night, late night, we're going to simulate one game using Xbox. We've done this the last 2 years. And every postseason game, we're going to simulate using Xbox. So Mondays at 3 o'clock Central, Fridays at 11:30 p.m. Central, we're going to bring you one game via Xbox. Tuesday nights is going to be our Having a Catch nights, just like they have been for the last 15 weeks or so. It's a talk show that I created, Having a Catch with Joey Buckholz. We're in, we'll call them encore presentation mode right now. So this Tuesday, check back at 7 o'clock, it's going to be Andrew Pfeffer, who is the host of Bowling with the Pfeff. And then season 2 premieres on May 31st. And season 2 will run through the end of August. So Tuesday nights, Having a Catch with Joey Buckholz. Wednesday nights, as we formally announced earlier today, is going to be trivia nights in the Utopian Baseball Universe. We've had 2 trivia tournaments. J.D. Schloss won in 2020. Madison McIntyre won in 2021. We're going away from that format for 2022. We're not going to do tournaments. We might bring them back at some point, but what we're going to do starting Wednesday, April 6th, is a weekly trivia show. The shows will be about 20 to 30 minutes long. It's going to pit 2 members of the Utopian Baseball Universe against each other. Each of them will represent a different Utopian Baseball Universe franchise. And the winner of that trivia is going to win a victory for their franchise in the Utopian Baseball Universe. So we're going to use our actual schedule for that particular day. So if we have a Cubs-Brewers game, for example, we're going to have a Cubs fan and a Brewers fan playing 20 minutes of trivia. And then if the Brewers fan wins, there's going to be 3 envelopes. They're going to choose one of the 3, and all 3 are going to be, Brewer wins in this case, but with different results. So we might see a 3-hit shutout. You might see a guy hit 2 homers. You could see a walk-off. We're going to have different results every week. We're going to try to represent every team this year. There's a poll up right now, so if you want to be on the trivia show, let me know. And you can appear multiple times. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Wednesday nights is trivia night in the Utopian Baseball Universe. We have a new simulation this year called Out of the Park. It's not a video game per se. It's a computer game that basically uses text and data to simulate games based on history. Their rosters are very close to what we have in the Utopian Baseball Universe. We're going to be doing that on Thursday afternoons and evenings, so a doubleheader on Thursdays. That's going to be 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock every Thursday. And then Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. So, last year, how we were doing Xbox almost every day. This year, we're just going to do Xbox on Mondays, Friday nights, and then Out of the Park, we're going to feature on Thursdays and Sundays. There could be special presentations for both of those throughout the season. And that could just be impulsive. Like I could be bored one day and be like, you know what, we're going to do an extra Xbox game today, or we're going to do Out of the Park. But look for Out of the Park exclusively basically on Thursdays and Sundays. We'll schedule it, and then we'll surprise you throughout the season. The only day really not represented on the Utopian Baseball Universe calendar each week will be Saturday. That's going to be kind of my recharge day, if you will. However, there could be some Saturdays throughout the season where we'll stream old games, maybe do a Utopian all-nighter, and just kind of hang out. But I don't really have anything scheduled. That's going to be kind of as we go. We'll see what that looks like. But it's going to be a lot of fun. But tonight we're basically here to talk mostly about opening day. Opening day is Friday, March 25th. That's 2 days from now. We are bringing back the Utopian Cafe. I ended it several months ago. But instead of doing it Monday through Friday for a half hour, we're going to do about 10 or 15 minutes on Mondays, 10 or 15 minutes on Fridays. We're going to preview the series that are coming up. And then every Thursday night and Sunday night, we're going to have a different member of the Utopian Baseball Universe appear for 5 or 10 minutes and pick the dates, help me pick the dates that we're going to use to simulate throughout the week. So I hope I was able to answer some of the questions. And we've done some FAQ shows and stuff. So if you guys have any questions or are curious, how this all works, let me know. And again, let me see if I'm pointing in the right direction. Here we go. That logo is going to be on a t-shirt coming to you very, very soon. We're going to make an official announcement on the Utopian Cafe Friday morning, but you'll be able to buy these t-shirts Friday. So we'll let you know what colors, what sizes, what the cost will be, how to get them. Very excited. And you still have a day and a half to invite people into the group. Now, you can invite people at any point. We're not trying to be the biggest group out there. We want to be one of the most engaging. If you invite at least 5 people in between now and Friday morning, you will be entered into our drawing to win a free t-shirt, because I'm buying the first 5. We're going to give away 5 on Friday morning. All you have to do is invite 5 people in. If you've already invited 5 people in, you're already entered. So you know who you are. I'm not even going to name the names because there's a very good chance that they're going to be winners on Friday. If we have 10 people invite 5 people in, you've got a 50% chance of winning a shirt. So the shirts are coming. Very excited. And one of you is going to win a copy of this. This is a book I wrote in 2008 called Two Loves, The Story of a Baseball Polygamist. I bought 2 copies recently. 2 members of the group are going to buy them or are going to win them. One is going to be basically any member of the Utopian Baseball Universe that tells me why they want it. There was a poll that's still pinned announcement. So if you tell me why you want it, you're going to be entered. And then we're going to be giving a copy to anyone that's joined from the Baseball Life group. So 2 members of the Utopian Baseball Universe will win copies. One of them specifically from here answers that question, why you want a copy of it. And then one will be anyone who's joined from Baseball Life in the last 12 months. So let's get started. Let's talk about opening day. We're going to talk about every single game, 16 games, what the starting lineups are. We're going to talk about start times, what to expect from Xbox. And, we have like ESPN schedule and all that stuff. It's all fiction, but we think you'll enjoy it a lot. Let me actually bring up a couple of my files here. So when I say, and again, because this is fictional, I just want to make it clear. When I say there's going to be a game on ESPN, it's really not going to be on ESPN. We're, we just have a national coverage schedule that we do to make this seem bigger than it maybe is. But when you see the results every night, you'll see an icon that says ESPN. Just in your mind, imagine that it was on ESPN. We're going to have different announcers every week. And our opening day ESPN schedule, our noon game is going to be Cincinnati at Miami. Toronto at San Diego is the 3:00 game. In prime time, the White Sox at our Utopian Baseball Universe 2-time champion Atlanta Braves. And then our late night game is the Washington Nationals at the Giants. So it's our ESPN quadruple header. We do that on opening day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. This year, quadruple headers on all 4 of those. We have 2 Xbox games on opening day. 3:00, we get the Yankees at Dodgers, and we have the Pirates at Royals at 6:00. And later that night, between 9 and 10 o'clock, we're going to have a Utopian Baseball Universe report where we get you all the results from opening day. So let's get started. I just realized I'm 20 minutes in. We haven't talked about a single game yet. But again, we're going to go about 2 hours tonight. 2 hours or until we get through all 16 games, whichever comes first. I am snacking. I've got my pretzels. I've got my dill pickle dip. I am sipping a vanilla Coke. You're probably thinking, I thought you were a Pepsi guy. Well, sometimes you get a deal, All right, here we go. So on opening day, we're going to have 5 early games, 5 late afternoon games, 4 evening games, and 2 late evening games. So our early games that day are going to be the Reds at Marlins, Tigers at Cardinals, Cubs at Bulls, Twins at Rangers, and the Brewers and Astros. Those are going to be our early games. Those are going to start about noon Central Time on Friday. Our late afternoon games on opening day are going to be the Blue Jays at Padres, Expos at Mariners, Yankees at Dodgers. That's going to be our Xbox game. Mets at Angels, and the Orioles at A's. So 10 of our 16 games in the daylight. 4 evening games, White Sox at Braves, Guardians at Rays, Red Sox at Rockies, and the Pirates at Royals will be our evening Xbox game. And then our 2 late night games on the West Coast, we got the Nationals at Giants and the Phillies at Diamondbacks. So let's get started. We're going to take a look at every game. I've got the starting lineups for all 32 teams. Not the batting orders per se, but who's playing. And then we'll talk about key additions to each roster in 2022. So we're going to start with our ESPN game, our early ESPN game, the Cincinnati Reds at the Marlins. And let's get rid of this graphic here. Here we go. So Reds at Marlins is going to be our early ESPN game on Friday. The Cincinnati Reds have made the Utopian Baseball Universe Championship Series 2 straight years. They have lost to the Braves 2 straight years. So they have unfinished business as they open the season at Miami. Jose Rio, who was the ERA leader in the Utopian Baseball Universe last year, facing Livan Hernandez, who was in the top 5 in ERA last year. And this is what the lineups are going to be. It looks like for the Reds, they're going to go with Rio, bench at catcher, Votto, Joe Morgan, Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, Pete Rose, Eric Davis, and Ken Griffey Sr. You voted to start in right field for the Reds. And they're going to face a Marlins team with Livan Hernandez, Francisco Cervelli getting the call at catcher for the Marlins on opening day. Sadahara O, who you voted to start at first base for the Marlins. D. Gordon at second. Jimmy Collins at third. Edgar Renteria at short. And then an outfield that consists of Stanton, Sheffield, and Floyd. So that's Marlins Reds. Let's talk about some of the key additions for these teams in 2022. The Reds adding Jonathan India. He's going to actually start the season in the minor league. So there's 40-man rosters for each team. The Reds have Joe Morgan and Brandon Phillips at second base. So India is going to start the season on the taxi squad, if you will. But they've also added Jesse Winker, Veda Pinson, and Amos Russi. Some of the key additions to the Marlins this year are Sadahara O, Jimmy Collins, Avisal Garcia, and Al Leiter is going to make the starting rotation for the Marlins to start 2022. So Reds Marlins is going to be the early game on ESPN. Should be a great one. That'll be one of 5 early games on Friday. Next, we'll take a look at the Tigers at Cardinals. The lineup for the Tigers, it looks like we have Jack Morris getting the start for Detroit. He was the most valuable pitcher in 2020. His catcher that day will be Bill Freehan, as voted by you, the universe. Hank Greenberg at first. Lou Whitaker at second. Miguel Cabrera at third. Alan Trammell at short. Al Kaline in left, Ty Cobb in center, Sam Crawford in right. And for the Cardinals, we have Bob Gibson pitching. He'll be pitching to Yadier Molina. Pujols, Hornsby, Judd Wilson, and Ozzie Smith make up the infield. And in the outfield for the Cardinals, Stan Musial, Lou Brock, and country Enos Slaughter. Tigers and Cardinals, this should be a good one. Morris versus Gibson early, again, Friday, March 25th, opening day, Tigers and Cardinals. Some of the key additions for the Tigers this year, adding Huey Jennings, Willie Horton, Harry Heilman, and Hal Newhouser. Newhouser did crack the rotation. He'll start the year as the number 5 for Detroit. And the Cardinals adding David Freese, World Series MVP in 2011, Pud Galvin, Jesse Haynes, and Ray Lankford, all joining the Cardinals in 2022 in the Utopian Baseball Universe. All right, so I got to pace myself here because the first 20 minutes we talked about no games, and now I've covered 2 in 6 minutes. So again, though, we're not going to go 2 hours if it's not necessary. But let's take a look at the next early game again. It's the Chicago Cubs at the Durham Bulls. The starting lineup for the Cubs, we have Fergie Jenkins is going to get the call at starting pitcher for the 3rd straight year on opening day. Catching him will be Gabby Hartnett, making his Utopian debut this year for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo at first, Ryan Sandberg at second, Chris Bryant at third, and Ernie Banks at short. The outfield is Billy Williams, Hack Wilson, and Sammy Sosa for the Cubs. And for the Durham Bulls, again, obviously this team is made up of players that didn't make one of the other 31 other rosters, but it's still a very formidable team. Pitching on opening is going to be Garrett Cole. The catcher, he was actually the first player ever drafted to the Durham Bulls, Josh Gibson. First base is Johnny Mize. Second base, Joe Gordon. Third base, Buddy Bell. The shortstop is Joe Sewell. And the outfield consists of Monty Irvin, Carlos Beltran, and Dwight Evans. This Durham Bulls team made the postseason last year. They actually made it all the way to the South Division Championship Series before being upended by the eventual champion Atlanta Braves. Key additions this year to the Cubs, Gabby Hartnett, Mike King Kelly, Mordecai Brown, and Leon Durham, all joining the Cubs in 2022. And for the Durham Bulls, Joe Gordon, Joe Sewell, Doc Ellis, and Dazzy Vance, all making their debuts this year for Durham. All right, let's take a look now at the 2 teams that broke Washington, D.C.'s heart at some point. The Twins and Rangers were the 2 franchises that have left D.C. They're going to play an opening day. Opening day roster for the Twins will be Walter Johnson. Of course, he's a Washington Senators legend. He's going to be starting for the 3rd straight opening day for the Twins. Buck Leonard at first base. Joe Mauer's his catcher. Rod Carew at second. Miguel Sano at third. Shortstop this year, Jack Glasscock. That's his real name, Jack Glasscock. He played in the 19th century. The outfield is going to consist of Tony Oliva, Kirby Puckett, and Harmon Killebrew. For the Rangers, starting pitcher, despite struggling last year, Hugh Darvish will get the call on opening day. Ivan Rodriguez catching, Mark Teixeira at first, Julio Franco at second, Adrian Beltre at third, Michael Young at short, and an outfield that consists of Juan Gonzalez, Pete Hill, Negro League Hall of Famer, and Ruben Sierra. So I'm looking forward to this matchup, Twins and Rangers on opening day. That'll be an early start. And then our final noon start on opening day. Or actually, before we get to that, let's look at the key additions for each team here. For the Twins, Jack Glasscock at short, Chief Bender, Corey Koski, and Jose Barrios. And for the Rangers, Dan Brothers, Frank Howard, Rusty Greer, and Bobby Witt. And maybe one day we'll see Bobby Witt's son make the Utopian Baseball Universe. He's right now, I think he's considered the number one prospect in all of Major League Baseball. All right, Brewers fans, it's your turn now. We take a look at the Brewers and Astros. It's going to be the final noon game on Friday. Brewers and Astros. Ben Sheets getting the opening day start. He's been the most consistent pitcher for the Brewers the last 2 years. This is one of 12 teams not to make the postseason in the Utopian Baseball Universe. They're going to go with Sheets pitching, B.J. Saroff at catcher, Cecil Cooper at first, Ricky Weeks at second, Paul Molitor at third, Robin Yount at short. An outfield that will consist of Christian Yelich, Gorman Thomas, and Rob Deere. Before I get to the Astros, if you're a Brewers fan watching this and saying, well, come on, those aren't the best players in Brewers history. Again, this is a mix of greats, favorites, and current players. We try to get a mix of those three in pretty much every lineup. Gorman Thomas and Rob Deere happen to be my two favorite Brewers of all time. So they will be opening day starters most of the time for the Brewers. For the Astros on opening day, we've got J.R. Richard getting his third straight opening day start. His catcher is going to be Negro League Hall of Famer Louis Santop. First base, Jeff Bagwell. Second base, Craig Biggio. Third base, Ken Caminiti. Shortstop, Carlos Correa. He is a Minnesota Twin in Major League Baseball. He'll be a Houston Astro. As long as we decide not to have player movement, he'll be with the Astros. And the outfield on opening day will consist of Jose Cruz, George Springer, and Billy Hamilton, but not the one you're familiar with. If you're not familiar with some of these names, this is a good learning opportunity to go to baseballreference.com and check on the history of some of these players. Let's look at the key additions for the Brewers. Freddie Peralta, Hugh Duffy, 19th century superstar, Carlos Gomez, adds some speed to their bench, and J.J. Hardy. For the Houston Astros, Burleigh Grimes, Billy Hamilton, Glenn Davis, and Jim Booten joining that bullpen in Houston. So the Astros were a postseason team 2 years ago. They're looking to get back in 2022. Brewers Astros, again, opening day, noon on Friday, March 25th. All right, let's take a break for a second to take a sip of this ice-cold vanilla Coca-Cola. And this does have calories because they did not have the 0-calorie option. There was a bit of a sale at the local grocer, so I'm enjoying some calories tonight. But I've been good. I actually didn't have a Pepsi for 102 days, and now I've had 3 since the lockout ended, and this is my second vanilla Coke. But I promise you, Friday will be my last cola for a while, and I'm only going to drink this or Pepsi if I'm at games going forward. So if we go to a Brewer game, or if we go to a Chinooks game, or the Sheboygan A's or the Timber Rattlers, I'll have a Pepsi at those games. But these will be my last ones within the home for quite a while. Looks like we have a comment here. Danny Pearson's in the building, says go Cubs. Danny Pearson, one of the winners of Ethan Bryan's book that we gave away a couple months back. So good to see Danny here tonight. His Cubs have not made the postseason in the Utopian Baseball Universe, but hopefully looking to change that soon if you're a Cubs fan. All right, let's get back to opening day, and let's look at our late afternoon games. Kicking it off with our ESPN game at 3 o'clock, Blue Jays and Padres. This game is unique in that both of these teams were at the table last year. Blue Jays got bumped by the Braves. The Padres lost to the Reds. This is an interesting game here. Toronto's going to go with Roy Halladay at starting pitcher. Hall of Famer Roger Bresnahan, a big get for the Blue Jays in the offseason. Carlos Delgado finished second in MVP voting at first. Robbie Alomar at second. Vlad Jr. at third. Bo Bichette at short. Excuse me. That was very rude. And the outfield consisting of Joe Carter, Willard Brown, and Jose Bautista. For the Padres, last season, Eric Shaw was amazing in the postseason. He's going to get the start today, or on opening day. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Bid McPhee at second. Ray Dandridge at third. Fernando Tatis Jr. at short. And an outfield that consists of Greg Vaughn, Dave Winfield, and Tony Gwynn. A lot of talent here. Again, very much looking forward to Blue Jays Padres. Some of the key additions to these teams for the Blue Jays: Roger Bresnahan, Edwin Encarnacion, Pat Henkin, and Vernon Wells joining the Blue Jays this season. For the Padres, Bid McPhee, Hunter Renfroe, Joe Musgrove, and Khalil Green all joining the universe. Danny P says, great book, by the way. Again, Ethan Bryan was a guest. We just re-aired his Having to Catch episode a couple days back, and I'm sure we're going to have Ethan on again. Fantastic book. I don't have it here, but it is fantastic. So thank you for mentioning that, Danny. Let's get back to the late afternoon games. And by the way, if you are watching, I will respond to all questions and comments as they come forward. May not get to it immediately, but want to stay as engaged as I can with you. In the background, the same background that we usually have. I just have a kind of a motel-looking lighting in here. I need to change that. Shows look better when the windows are open and daylight. I've got kind of this like yellow tint that I'm not crazy about, but we've got the fantasy football trophy from 2021, the hat collection, some random bobbleheads, books, and yes, a basketball net. All right, our next late afternoon game on opening day, we're going to talk about the Expos and Mariners. Both teams making splashes at starting pitchers. Both teams are going to have a new starting pitcher on opening day for the third straight year. The Expos are going to go with their latest find, Rube Marquardt. Of course, catching for the Expos is going to be Gary Carter. At first base, Andres Galarraga. Second base, Delino DeShields. At third, Tim Wallach. Shortstop, Negro League Hall of Famer Willie Wells. Fantastic outfield of Vlad Guerrero, Tim Raines, and Andre Dawson. And for the Mariners, Rube Waddell will be throwing to Biz Mackey. First baseman Richie Sexson. Second base Brett Boone. Third base Edgar Martinez. Shortstop Alex Rodriguez. And the outfield, it says question mark, but it looks like it's going to be Jay Buhner. You guys are voting on that currently. Buhner is well ahead in that vote, so it looks like it's going to be Buhner, Griffey Jr., and Ichiro. Expos at Mariners. Key additions for the Expos: John Montgomery Ward. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's going to do a lot of things for the Expos. Rube Marquardt, Spaceman Bill Lee, and Ron LaFleur all making their debuts this year in the Utopian. For the Mariners, Rube Waddell, Jared Kelenic, Drew Steckenrider, going to bolster that bullpen, and Carlos Guillen, all coming to the Mariners in 2022. One of the more anticipated series to kick off the season, Yankees at Dodgers, the most frequent World Series of all time, is going to be one of our late afternoon games. And this is big. You know, one of the things I failed to mention at the start of the show is that the way we determine home field advantage for the series at the table and in our championship series is who wins the series in the regular season, because those are all non-division series. and you play 3 games against every non-division opponent. So, for example, in this Yankees-Dodgers series, if the Dodgers win 2 or 3 and the Yankees and Dodgers meet at the table, the Dodgers would have home field advantage in that 7-game series. So these regular season series are huge. Yankees and Dodgers on opening day. We've got Whitey Ford pitching for the Yankees. His catcher is going to be Yogi Berra. Lou Gehrig at first. Willie Randolph at second. Judy Johnson at third. Derek Jeter at short. Outfield consisting of Mantle, DiMaggio, and Ruth. For the Dodgers, you got Sandy Koufax pitching to Roy Campanella. Gil Hodges, Jackie Robinson, Ron Cey, Corey Seager, and a very talented outfield consisting of Mookie Betts, Duke Snider, and Cody Bellinger. Tons of talent in this one. I cannot wait. Yankees at Dodgers. That's going to be our first of 2 Xbox presentations. So we will not be simulating those games the same way. We're going to do each holiday, and I consider opening day in the universe to be a holiday. We're going to be doing 2 Xbox simulations along with every Monday afternoon and every Friday evening in the Utopian Baseball Universe. We're going to simulate using 1 Xbox game. So very much looking forward to that. Of course, I'm a Mets fan. Before we get to that, let's look at the key additions for each team. For the Yankees, Jack Chesbro, Bill Dickey, Scott Brocious, and Bobby Mercer all joining the universe in 2022. For the Dodgers, Dolph Camilli, Bill Dalen, Pedro Guerrero, and Walker Buehler all making their Utopian debuts in 2022. I have been battling a headache for about a day and a half now. So if it looks like I'm in a little bit of pain, I am. It was a mild headache yesterday. It's probably like a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. So it's not bad, but it is a little bit of a distraction. So I do apologize. I feel like my speech might be slurring a bit. I don't know. But trying to eat, trying to rest. I know it's off-putting to watch me snack, but it is a 2-hour show. All right. Let's get to the Mets and Angels. The David Rubin series, if you will. David, a friend of the show, one of the gentlemen that brings 401 Sports to us within the group. Mets and Angels. It's going to be our late afternoon game. Tom Seaver versus Nolan Ryan. For the Mets on opening day, we've got Seaver, Mike Piazza at catcher, Keith Hernandez getting the start facing Nolan Ryan, the righty, Jeff McNeil at second, David Wright at third, Jose Reyes at short. Very talented outfield here. Lenny Dykstra, Turkey Stearns, and Darryl Strawberry for the Mets. For the Angels, we got Nolan Ryan making his 3rd straight opening day start. Bob Boone at catcher. 2021 batting champion Wally Joyner. Bobby Grich at second. Troy Gloss. Eric Ibar at short. And the outfield consisting of Fred Lynn, Mike Trout, and Shohei Ohtani, who's going to get the start Saturday versus Jacob deGrom. Key additions for the Mets this year, John Matlack, Bob Ojeda, Ray Knight, and Don Clendenin. And for the Angels, Nick Adenhart's going to make his debut this year for the Angels. Eric Ibar, Fred Clark, and Jared Walsh all joining the Angels in the Utopian Baseball Universe in 2022. All right, let's move over to, it's like the neck too. It's like this all hurts. But the show must go on. Let's talk about the Orioles and A's. Jim Palmer versus Eddie Plank. The A's have their third different opening day starter in 3 years. They went with Vita Blue year 1, Lefty Grove last year. They're going with Plank in year 3. A's have not made the postseason. Orioles have also not made the postseason. So one of these teams going to kick off 2022 with a victory. So we've got for the Orioles, Jim Palmer. His catcher will be Rick Dempsey. First base, Eddie Murray. Second base, Frank Grant. Third base, Brooks Robinson. The shortstop, a guy named Ripken. The outfield will consist of Frank Robinson, Adam Jones, and Willie Keeler. And for the A's, Eddie Plank pitching. Mickey Cochran will be his catcher. Jimmy Fox at first. Cupid Childs at second. Sal Bando at third. Marcus Simeon at short. And an outfield that consists of Ricky Henderson, Al Simmons, and Reggie Jackson. So no Bash Brothers here. We have McGuire in St. Louis and Canseco not getting the start on opening day. He's kind of like the fourth outfielder here in Oakland. Key additions for the Orioles, we got Willie Keeler, Billy Ripken Jr., and a couple of pitchers, Urban Shocker and Mike Boddicker joining Baltimore. For Oakland, Cupid Childs at second, Chris Bassett, Dwayne Murphy, and Stephen Piscotty all making their debuts for the A's in 2022. All right, so we are 10 down, 6 to go. This will not go 2 hours because I've blown through it. We don't have guests tonight. We're going to have a guest tomorrow. Pick out the date. So I'm excited for that. We're going to be announcing that guest tomorrow at some point. And if you're watching this mystery guest, confirm with me later. My phone is charging in the other room. Confirm with me later, and then we'll make an announcement tomorrow. We're going to be doing, again, guests every Thursday and Sunday night for about 5 minutes to help pick out the dates that we use to simulate. So you can have a big part in this. And again, if you want to participate, there is a poll. This is a very interactive group. So there's a poll on if you want to do trivia. There's a poll if you want to pick the dates. We're scheduling get-togethers. Friday, there's going to be a poll about T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt with this logo, those will become available starting Friday. And again, I am giving away the first 5. How to qualify for a free T-shirt? Very simple. You see that invite button? It's somewhere on your screen. Maybe not now if you're watching this, but within the group page, there's an invite button. If you invite 5 people to the group, I don't even care if they accept. Just the fact that you're making the effort to bring quality into the group, you will be entered and you will be considered for one of the free T-shirts. And you choose the color, you choose the size. We're going to have black, gray, blue, and red. All you got to do is bring in 5 people. If you've already brought in 5, you're already entered. And one of you is going to win a copy of my book, and all you have to do is tell me why you want it. There's, again, a pinned announcement. We've got about 8 or 10 pinned announcements, so just kind of shuffle through those. Tell me why you want the book. Invite some people in, and you could win a shirt and or a book. So exciting stuff is happening here in the Utopian Baseball Universe. All right, let's go to the evening games. Our 2-time champion Braves are hosting the White Sox on opening day. Chris Sale versus Warren Spahn. The starting lineup for the White Sox: Carlton Fisk at catcher, Frank Thomas at first, Eddie Collins at second, Yoan Moncada at third. Moncada hit 2 homers on opening day last year. Luke Appling at short. Joe Jackson, Oscar Charleston, and Harold Baines make up the outfield for Chicago. And for the champion Braves, we've got Warren Spahn pitching, Javi Lopez at catcher, Freddie Freeman, he's an Atlanta Brave here, second base Ozzie Albus, third base Chipper Jones, the shortstop Dansby Swanson making his debut this year, the outfield Acuna Jr., Dale Murphy, and Henry Aaron. 2020 MVP and home run champion Henry Aaron. Key additions for the White Sox this year, a couple of pitchers, John Clarkson, Ted Lyons, catcher Ray Schock, and Jermaine Dye. For the Braves, Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley, Harry Stovey, and Tommy Holmes, all joining the Braves in 2022. Next, we look at the Guardians and the Rays. This is one of our, there's no national coverage for this one, but there really should be. Bob Feller versus Hilton Smith. Hilton Smith was the most valuable pitcher in the universe last year as a rookie. This is going to be fantastic. Feller pitching for the Guardians. We have Sandy Alomar Jr. at catcher, Jim Thome at first, Nap Lajoie at second, Jose Ramirez at third, Francisco Lindor at short. The outfield consisting of Albert Bell, Kenny Lofton, and Tris Speaker. For the Rays, we've got Smith pitching, Molina at catcher, McGriff at first, Brandon Lau at second, Evan Longoria at third. The shortstop will be Willy Adames. The outfield consisting of Crawford, Arozarena, and Meadows. Guardians, Rays, this is going to be a good one. Key additions for the Guardians this year, Herb Score, Stan Kovaleski, Grady Sizemore, and Michael Brantley, all joining Cleveland. Tampa Bay made probably the biggest splash in the offseason this year, signing Cy Young to be a starter. He's going to pitch Saturday against Satchel Paige. They also added Wander Franco, Logan Forsythe, and Desmond Jennings in 2022. The pitching matchups in this series are incredible. We've got Feller versus Hilton Smith, Satchel Paige versus Cy Young, and then on day 3, we've got the only 20-game winner in Utopian history, Addie Joss versus, I forget, Tyler Glasnow. So great pitching matchups in this Cleveland-Tampa Bay series. Again, kicks off Friday night. One of 4 evening games, Guardians at Rays. All right, let's take a look at the Red Sox at Rockies. Starting pitcher for the Red Sox, Pedro Martinez, as voted by you, the Utopian Baseball Universe. Catcher, Jason Varitek. First base, Mo Vaughn. Second base, Dustin Pedroia. Third base, Wade Boggs. Shortstop, Nomah. The outfield consisting of Williams, Yastrzemski, and Ramirez. And I know they're all left fielders, but in the Utopian Baseball Universe, I feel like you're an outfielder. All right, you're an athlete. You can figure it out. Pitchers can hit in the Utopian, and guys are flexible in the outfield. For the Rockies, we have Rube Foster, who threw a no-hitter last year for the Rockies. Ernie Lombardi, a big free agent get for the Rockies at catcher. Todd Helton at first. DJ LeMahieu at second. Nolan Arenado at third. Troy Tulowitzki at short. And then the outfield consisting of Holiday, Blackman, and Walker. Key additions for the Red Sox this year, Herb Pennock, Deacon White, Rico Petrocelli, and Tony Armas. For the Rockies, Ernie Lombardi, Andy Messersmith, Ramiel Tapia, and Jim O'Rourke, all coming to Colorado in 2022. All right, the final evening game, not late evening game, but 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock start. Pirates at Royals. This will be seen on Xbox. Starting pitcher for the Pirates is going to be Smokey Joe Williams in his first year in the universe, leading the league in strikeouts. His catcher is going to be Jason Kendall. Willie Stargell. Now, this is a kind of an interesting development for the Pirates in this offseason. The Pirates have Josh Bell and Al Oliver on their roster, but they're going to go with Willie Stargell at first base, at least to start the season, and this allows them a little bit more flexibility in the outfield. So you got Stargell at first, Bill Mazeroski at second, Bill Madlock at third, Hannes Wagner at short, and then an outfield that consists of Kiner, McCutchen, and Clemente. So it looks like if you were to analyze this, the Pirates are going with McCutchen over Josh Bell, at least on opening day. McCutcheon's going to play center. Stargell's going to play first. Interesting move there, but let's see if it pays off. Willie Stargell was the 2020 home run derby champion in the Utopian Baseball Universe. For the Royals, we got David Cone getting the start on opening day. Salvador Perez at catcher. Roger Connor getting the start at first. He was the home run king before Babe Ruth. Whit Merrifield at second. George Brett at third. U.L. Washington at short. The outfield consisting of Bo Jackson, Cool Papa Bell, and Willie Wilson. The key additions for the Pirates, Paul Wainer, a couple of pitchers, Charlie Buffington, Babe Adams, and Pie Traynor. And for the Royals, we have Kevin Appier, Kevin Seitzer, UL Washington, and Roger Connor. Again, this game on opening day will be featured on Xbox. Smokey Joe Williams versus David Cone. That leaves us with just two games to talk about. Late evening games. These will be about 9 o'clock on Friday. Nationals at Giants. For the Nationals, we've got Steven Strasburg pitching. Wilson Ramos will be his catcher. Ryan Zimmerman at first. Daniel Murphy at second. Anthony Rendon at third. Trey Turner at short. The outfield consisting of Juan Soto, Heine Manouche in center, and Bryce Harper at right. Again, if you're not familiar with some of these names, great learning opportunity. Go to baseballreference.com, go to Wikipedia. Heine Manouche, again, one of those 19th century ball players drafted to the Washington Nationals for 2022. For the Giants, Christy Mathewson, making his third straight start for the Giants. His catcher is Buster Posey, Willie McCovey at first, Jeff Kent at second, Matt Williams at third, Pop Lloyd at short, and probably the most talented outfield in the Utopian, Bonds, Mays, and Mel Ott. Nationals, Giants. Bryce Harper was the MVP of the Utopian last year. Bonds was in the top 5 in balloting. Just an incredible start to the season. That's going to be our fourth and final ESPN game on Friday night, the Nationals at Giants. Key additions to the Nationals this year, early win, Heine Manouche, Pete Browning, and the Nationals have a new closer, Dick McBride, will be the closer in 2022. For the Giants, Joe McGinnity, Chief Myers at catcher, Chili Davis, and Travis Jackson, all coming to the universe in 2022. The final game, this will be a late evening game on Friday, Phillies at Diamondbacks. Starting pitcher for the Phillies, Steve Carlton. His catcher is going to be JT Realmuto, Ryan Howard at first, Chase Utley at second, Mike Schmidt at third, Jimmy Rollins at short. The outfield on Friday will consist of Chuck Klein, Gary Maddox, and Bobby Abreu. For the Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson, who struggled mightily last year, they trust him. He's going to get the ball once again on opening day. Buck Ewing is his catcher. Maybe that could be the difference. Hall of Famer Buck Ewing, the newest catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Paul Goldschmidt at first, Ketel Marte at second, Jake Lamb at third, and I forgot to put the shortstop. It's going to be Nick Ahmed at short, and the outfield consisting of Luis Gonzalez, A.J. Pollock, and Chris Young. Key additions for each team: for the Phillies, Gary Maddox, Ed Delahanty, Chris Short, and Kurt Simmons, a pair of pitchers. For the Diamondbacks, Buck Ewing, Jake Lamb, A.J. Pollock, and Justin Upton, all joining the universe in 2022. So there you have it, folks. We've pretty much covered every game. I don't have any more content to give you tonight. I don't know if I just didn't space it out well enough. Again, when there's no guests, it's hard to maintain it for as long as I'd like to. But again, Xbox doubleheader, Yankees at Dodgers, Pirates at Royals. That'll be 3 and 6 o'clock on Friday. We got an ESPN quadruple header. Reds at Marlins, Blue Jays at Padres, White Sox at Braves, Nationals at Giants. And again, this is what the schedule is going to look like this year going forward. Xbox on Mondays and Fridays, out of the park simulations on Thursdays and Sundays. Tuesday, having a catch with Joey Buckholz with Andrew Pfeffer coming up Tuesday. That's an encore presentation that originally aired, I want to say December 28th. Wednesday nights is trivia. If you want to play trivia, let me know through the poll and we'll get you scheduled this year. And then the out of park simulations again Thursdays and Sunday mornings. We'll be doing out of the park. So tomorrow night at 9:00 Central, I'll be going live for about 5 minutes. Real quick, we're going to have a special mystery guest. Is going to help me pick the dates for this weekend, because I don't find out what happens in the universe until shortly before you do. So this person is going to help me pick the dates for the weekend. And then after we go off the air tomorrow, I'll be writing all of Friday. And then Friday night, I'll be writing all of Saturday and Sunday so that I have Saturday off. But very much looking forward to bringing the Utopian Baseball Universe to you for a third year starting this Friday. And once again, I know I've mentioned this a couple times, Friday morning at 9 a.m., the Utopian Cafe returns. We're going to unveil the winners of the 5 free t-shirts and the winner of the book that I wrote in 2008. To enter for a free shirt, at the end of the show today, invite 5 people into the group. You'll be entered into the drawing. To win a copy of the book, just tell me why you want it. There's a pinned announcement. You can say it here too. And we're going to actually do all those drawings Friday. I haven't picked the winners yet. It's not rigged. We're going to use the same random number shuffler we use. Right now, there's probably only about 25 people entered for the shirt. And those are all people that have invited at least 5 people into the group. So you guys know who you are. I know who you are. I'm very appreciative. And so we're going to do all that Friday. I've never been more excited. All my friends and family know this is all I've been thinking about the last couple of weeks. To present this to you, I put in at least 3 hours a day for this. I do it for me, but I do it for you as well. We're trying to build the best baseball community possible. And this is just, this simulation is just a small part of it. The Utopian Baseball Universe is about community. It's about sharing your memories, telling me about your podcast, your books, what you're doing to celebrate baseball. I think we're all happy that Major League Baseball is back. Opening day for Major League Baseball starts April 7th. We'll be having game threads here too. So, when your favorite team is playing, you guys will have an opportunity to talk about that as well. But thank you for joining me tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:00 to reveal the dates that we're going to use this weekend. And then again, Friday morning, 9 a.m., the Utopian Cafe. Everything kicks off Friday at noon, opening day, 3 o'clock Xbox, 6 o'clock Xbox, 9 o'clock wrap-up show, Utopian Baseball Universe opening day. We're just a day and a half away. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.